Hi fellow fairies and other magical folk, my name is Where I Wrote and welcome to my channel. I know, so original, ranking the Winx Club transformations. This has been done so many times before that it's hard to think about anything new I could add to the conversation, but I'm gonna try to rid myself of others' opinions and other preconceived notions to be able to rank them based on how I truly feel. I'll mainly judge them based on design, but I'll also comment on the names of the transformations and the lore behind them when I find it relevant. I also will not be taking the songs or the sequences into account because that's a whole other beast and I'd like to do a video on each of those things alone. The same with the spells, but just because I don't really remember a lot of them, I will rank transformation variants, but I will not be ranking the wing variants or the Charmix bags because I feel like that's just a waste of time, honestly. Like, nothing really changes in those. Also, no comic transformations because I don't want to make this video like 2 hours long. So yeah, with all that being said, let's start the video. Okay, so in the 18th spot we have the Reboot Magic Winx, or as many like to call it, the Rebootix. I have already talked about these forms in detail in one of my videos, so I won't be taking a lot of time with them. This transformation is last, and it shouldn't come to anyone's surprise. The looks are all pretty bad, minus Musas, maybe, depending on the art style. But I think that the reason that it really ends the last spot is because of Bloom's horrible mess of a transformation, the ugly art style, and horrible CGI, and like the reboot as a whole. So mainly the AI and everything that happened behind the scenes. And I don't know if I'm being fair with this placement because there's still some things that I like about this transformation, and I think the 2D drawings of this form look actually better, but the reboot is too much of a fiasco to rank this anything other than last, honestly. Next, I placed Tynix at number 17th, and okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really watched Winx Season 7. I roughly know about the main plot points, the transformations, and what happens in some episodes from what I've seen other Winxers discuss online, but I haven't really watched it. It just doesn't sound like a fun watch, honestly. I watched most of Season 8 when it aired out of curiosity and have recently watched Season 6, but I couldn't even finish it. It was so bad. I was like completely bored. So I don't think Season 7 would be any different. From what I understand, the lore about Tynix is that they have to get into these transformations to get into the mini-worlds, which is the same concept as Sirenix and Mythix. So it's repetitive, and on top of that, it feels stupid because, well, I don't know how tiny these worlds are supposed to be, but the Winx have had the power to miniaturize since Enchantix. That being said, I don't think I would like Tynix anymore if I had actually watched the season because I kinda hate the looks. The design is so confusing, like I don't really know what's going on with these outfits. When I was younger, I remember being confused when watching transformation compilations because I thought the vibe was so similar to the Onyrix and Dreamix outfits, so I was like, does this have anything to do with World of Winx? The fact that all the outfits are just a mini dress and whole body thighs, okay, it's so boring. They try to make it interesting with the crystals concept, and I mean, it could have been kinda cool if they had used it in a different way, but like this, it just makes the design look too cluttered. The only outfit that I kinda like is Musa's, but again, the look gets ruined by her weirdly shaped ponytail. I think the only thing about this transformation that I really enjoy is Flora's blonde hair with pink highlights. They had already done something similar for her Sirenix, so they already knew that it kinda worked, although here it looks so much better than on her Sirenix. And yeah, it just looks so good on her. It gives her a really different look, but it's still so Flora. The same can't be said for Musa and Stella though. They look like fools. Like, I don't know what it is, but while preparing for this video, I noticed that Stella tends to look bad in a lot of the transformations. Like the bleached blonde hair with the lavender highlights should work as it's a similar concept to Flores, but it just doesn't. Maybe it's her bangs here or the way her ponytail is structured, but she just looks weird to me. Then the concept of the crystal wings could be so cool, but I don't really like how they're rendered. It feels like there's a lot of wasted potential with this one. And the next transformation that I have at number 16th is Onyrix. Honestly, I think this transformation is really forgettable, and even when I was watching World of Winx back in the day, I kind of had a hard time distinguishing between Dreamix and Onyrix at first. I think it's trying to give supermodel, spy, and elegant, but it's just giving old conservative lady styling. I kinda like the cat sides on the pants, but it's just not enough because it all falls apart when you get to the torso area with all of the flower ornaments. It's so taggy, like department store. They try to give elegance to heart so much that these forms don't really feel like Winx transformations. The only good thing about them is that Stella looks so gorgeous in that blue, and maybe some of the hairstyles like Tegna's and Stella's are nice, I guess. Also, I like the name Onyrix better than Dreamix. It's just less obvious and it sounds cooler and more mysterious. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about Season 8 Enchantix, and so I was initially going to rank this just following Rebootix, but I thought, wait, I love Enchantix. And this is Enchantix, even if it's changed. So it can't be that bad, like the essence must still be there. So I tried looking at these designs more impartially and through some illustrations with the original art style to not make my whole decision based on the art style downgrade. And I mean, what I thought was true to some extent, but what can I say? It's still bad. Bad enough to get the 15th spot on my ranking. And I think that we have one main culprit for this crime, and it's the pink. There's way too much pink going on, and also way too much color saturation in general going on. I feel like these colors are attacking my eyes. For example, Flora's dress used to be a beautiful, washed out pale pink shade, and now it's almost neon. Why? And then Aisha and Stella have pinks in their outfits that weren't there before. It's completely unnecessary and it ruins their designs. And also, the added pieces of fabric meant to cover them up look weird in most of them. They make their torsos look too long for some reason, and they ruin the silhouettes of the outfits. As for some positive aspects of this redesign, there are not many of them, honestly. I think maybe the wire thing they added on the gloves could look nice. I'm not saying that it does. It depends on the girl. Also, Tegna's redesign is not that bad, but what I don't like is bringing back the lower part of her wings just for nostalgia. Like, there's a reason why they were cut in the original. It makes sense for her character and makes her design more unique, but I don't know, because at the same time it's just like a cute nod back to the prototype's design. I remember being excited and constantly looking at Season 8 news when it was airing, and I can say that when I first saw the clips of Enchantix on YouTube, of that music box episode, I was so let down by how bad they look. So yeah, Season 8 Enchantix was and still is a complete disappointment. Next, we have Season 8 Sirenix in the 14th spot, and I was actually not sure whether to rank this above or below regular Sirenix, because I think they made some things like the colors look less egregious, but also this is one of those transformations where I can't really tell what's going on, like the shell pattern thing on their upper bodies. It's too clustered, so they fix something and they add more bad things. I think the only one who truly looks better here is Flora. Her design is nicer and I like the blue on her, but then with Aisha or Tegna, no, it's just a no. Also, I think the Season 8 art style doesn't complement the look and silhouette of the Sirenix designs, so these really suffer from that. And I mean, I could say much more about them, but I'm going to keep it for the actual Sirenix, which is next on the list at number 13. And what can I say? This is a mess. There is very little that is salvageable from this form, and it's a shame, honestly, because it's one of the most important ones in the show, lore-wise, and also in the importance that it's been given in the marketing materials. Like, it's considered so important that it came back in Season 8. Like, me myself, I feel weird ranking it so low because I think it's one of the most iconic transformations, but I actually think that's just because of the theme and the song and maybe the fact that it's so unique, because the design itself is literally so bad. Also, it introduced us to the horrors of Bloom's ponytail, which still haunts us to this day. So I guess this is a fair placement. And well, getting into the design of this transformation, I get the canty potential that it has, but I think it ends up falling more on the legging and Jojo Siwa side. Like, the girls look like clowns here. Just look at Stella's color palette. It's so jarring to the eyes. The only one that I truly like here is Musa Sirenix. I think she looks great, and I feel like this is just because the ponytail works on her, unlike the other girls, and because the colors are just so nice. Deep red is always gorgeous on Musa, and I love her lavender highlights. They're similar to her Enchantix, so it looks really good. I also like some other details like Flora's hairstyle and the pink hair color for her, but that's pretty much it. And I think what's most of a shame is that when you look at the prototypes, it all makes sense. They look so canty, and it truly does look like a cursed form.
Hi guys, okay, so editing me interruption here, but apparently these are the Harmonix prototypes, not the Sirenix ones, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting so confused while looking this up online. But in my opinion, they really do look much more similar to Sirenix than Harmonix, but whatever. I think it's obvious that they took inspiration from this prototype to do both of the transformations, so my point still stands.
I feel like the designers had such a clear vision of what they wanted the transformation to look like, but it had to be so watered down for it to be marketable and practical for the animation that the original version got so lost and we only have sad remnants of it, like the bony sharp wings or the dyed strands of hair and hair color changes, which make so much sense with the original design but feel so out of the blue with the form that we ended up getting. Also, when looking at the lore of this transformation, I swear to god it makes no sense. How is glorified swimsuit supposed to be giving ancient primal power that's being kept sealed for years and only some of the most powerful fairies have been able to acquire it? It doesn't make sense. I think it would make more sense if Sirenix and Harmonix designs were swapped. Like, the only thing that Sirenix is giving is free power up with no stakes meant to be able to swim faster while on the quest for the ancient transformation, which is literally the description of Harmonix. So yeah, so much wasted potential for Sirenix. Especially having a name that cool. Like, truly, it has to be one of the best transformation names. Next, I put Mythix at number 12, and my experience with this transformation is actually kinda similar to a lot of other people's. At first, I thought it was incredibly ugly, but that's more because of the 3D art style, which is incredibly ugly, especially in season 6 and the not underwater scenes. Like, there's just no way around it, because when looking at the outfits run in the original Winx style, some of them are actually cute, even though the designs don't have much of an unified identity apart from them all being mini dresses. I guess the only other thing that makes this transformation have an unique look is the wands, but I honestly don't care that much about them because they're so ugly. Like, I can forgive the stupid lore about them because who cares, it's Winx season 6, but why are they so ugly? They look like they're made out of plastic in show. God, like, who thought this looked fine? What I will say though is that the wings do look really nice. Some of them are really pretty and original. And about the lore, honestly, I feel like the concept of using a transformation for getting into the Legendarium's myth world is really cool, but to me this is just not well executed, like the rest of the season is. In general, I think Season 6 had a lot of potential and good ideas, but they're all really poorly done. Also, the designs don't feel like they have anything relating to this premise, so that's that. And now about each of the designs, I think the worst outfit has to be Flora's, even into the... Like, her dress is just so hideous. It's a shame since I actually really like her wings here. They look really delicate. About Bloom, I really like that they did something new with her hair, as we always see it either on her signature bangs or with the hideous ponytail that they love giving her. She looks really cute with this hairstyle, but I'm not really sure about my thoughts on the dress. I don't really know if the ring things work. I love Stella's look, from her hair to the shades in her dress and her rings. I think it's really pretty how they combine the purple with the orange hues, much better than with her Sirenix. Like, here the colors are actually nice. I also really like Aisha's transformation here, and I surprisingly love her hair, even if it's pulled back, which I'm not usually a fan of, but I think it does work here. Maybe because there is some styling on her bangs, it's not just pull back and that's it. I also think her dress is the cutest out of them all, and I really like the shade of blue they chose for her here. About Tegna, I really like her wings, and it's nice that she has her Believix hairstyle back, even if it's not one of my favorites, but that's it. The dress is cute, but there's not much to it. Then Musa is an interesting case, because she definitely gets the worst deal out of being in 3D. Her ponytails look disgusting, like literal Play-Doh. It's horrible. They can be kinda fun in 2D, but also I think I'm not the biggest fan. And there's way too much going on with her dress. Way too much. The next spot is for Sophix at number 11th, and actually I wasn't really sure where to put this because I like it, but I feel like I just like it because I like the Believix design and the nature theme. But I actually don't think that these are so well executed, and I kind of hold a grudge against them because of this transformation and arc in season 4 not being Flora-centric. I think it was so stupid to have a conflict and transformation based around nature and not make Flora have an arc according to it. So much wasted potential. So yeah, I can't really separate the transformation from that. Also, this is one of the transformations where the lore actually bothers me so much. I know that this is not really meant to be a transformation containing the power of nature, it's just the gift of wisdom given to the Winx so that they can be in complete harmony with nature, but it definitely feels like it's just a nature-themed transformation. To me, this feels off because nature is too big of a theme to be represented through a Believix alternate transformation that only appears for like 2 episodes. Like with Lovix, it makes sense because it's just a winter themed transformation, but nature is basically everything. You know, it's literally life. The stakes are too high for it to just be used here. And this is made worse by the imbalance I feel there is with Lovix. But enough of that. Now I'll talk about the designs themselves. I'm kinda torn about it because I like a lot of the design elements, like the thin binds that remind me of Enchantix, the loose and puffy fabrics and the leaf elements, but at the same time I think there's a big problem with this transformation and it's mainly the colors. They're too crazy and all over the place. It's too jarring to the eye sometimes. Stellas and Musas are especially too much and kinda hard to look at. The same could be said about Bloom, but I can't help but love hers. I just adore her puffy sleeves that go into a skin-tight fabric and all of the loose pieces attached to her wrist. I think they look so beautiful. Then we have Aisha, who is just monochrome for some reason that I can't understand. She looks different from the rest because of this, and also I think her outfit just wasn't very well translated from her belly because like they didn't give it much thought. Then I would say Tegna looks surprisingly really good, even if she's kind of, we could say, in her opposite element. And finally, Flora looks so good and beautiful. It looks like this transformation was made for her, which is what they should have done. And her final pose when transforming feels so powerful. So it's a shame that this didn't really translate to the plot itself. I also want to comment on the wings in general because I don't really like them. I think these are a lazy design that doesn't make sense for the nature theme. Like, as I said with Butterflix, fairy wings are originally based on insect wings, so there's a lot that they could have done with that here, but they just didn't. This color blocking pastel color design works for Lovix, but not for Sophix, so I think it was definitely a mistake to go for the same look for the both of them. The last thing that I want to say about this transformation is that I love the name. It comes from Sophia, which means wisdom in Greek, and I think that makes for a really cool transformation name. It makes it sound really powerful, even if it's really not, because we all know the Winx got beat down with this transformation, like it was really useless. Next, I put Dreamix at number 10th, and I'm actually really surprised with how high this is on my list. I think it's that I've never really thought that much about this transformation, but looking at it again, there's some things that I really like about it. It's kinda similar looking to Onyrix, but I think this one does achieve what it's trying to accomplish with the look. It is elegant and it feels much more younger looking than Onyrix. As with Bloomix, I love the loose fabrics all over them. My favorite designs here are Stella, Bloom, Flora, and Tegna. I think their colors are so nice, and I wish they did more of these darker colors on the girls more often. They really do achieve the elegant look. I also really like the hairstyles in this, especially Bloom's. It kinda reminds me of her Enchantix hair, and I love how it's so long and it slowly grows thinner towards the end. It's such a beautiful effect. It looks like a river. I also really like the shade of blue they chose for her here. I think this might be one of the few transformations where Bloom actually looks good. The same happens with Stella. She looks quite good here, and I really like the dark magenta details on her outfit. They almost look red and it looks really good. It kinda makes me wish that they would use this color more on Stella's outfits. Flora's outfit is a really pretty shade of pink, and I really like her hair even if it's simple. Her original hairstyle will always look great on her. Also, I think she's the one in which the thin lines thing on the outfits actually works. Like with Bloom, for example, I feel like the color doesn't really match well with the bodysuit. Tegna's outfit is a bit different in that it seems to have a more defined structure, and I wish the others were more like this. I also like her wings the best out of them all, but I have to say that I'm not a really big fan of these wing designs in general, so that's not that much of a compliment. Then about Musa and Aisha, I'm not really a fan of the designs. Musa's hair looks too stiff, and oh please, I need them to stop with the Aisha wavy hair propaganda. Like, please, just give her some real curls. This is sick, and just another part of her whitewashing, which is extreme in this transformation. And finally, about the lore of this transformation, I watched World of Winx a long time ago, but I think there's literally none. Like, they just transform and that's it, right? So yeah, not much to talk about here. So next I put Bloomix at number 9th, and I think I used to like the Bloomix designs much more some years ago because everyone kept talking about how it's one of the best designs of the post-Nick era Winx, but honestly when I look at them, it's not really my cup of tea. Like, there's just some things that I can't get past with. Yeah, it's cool that it's, well, a cooler transformation, not so cute and excessively feminine for a change, but when I look at the designs themselves, I don't personally like them that much. Personally, okay, like, I can see why people love them, but I don't think standing out makes them automatically better. And don't get it wrong, because there's stuff that I really like in here, like the colors in all of this. They're truly gorgeous and balanced. I especially love the shade of red they gave to Bloom's hair in her form, for example. It goes so well with the blue, which is also so pretty. I just love low saturation color palettes. Also, the bright yellow line art on Bloom's outfit works really well and makes her transformation look really special and magical, because they haven't really done that before, I think. In general, I also love the loose fabrics in their outfits, and I think their wings look really pretty, especially Musa's. I love her wings here. But the thing is, I can't stand their hairstyles. Most of them are so hideous, and mostly it all comes down to the bangs, which is a very personal thing to me. I love bangs. I love drawing bangs. I think they're the most iconic part about a character's design, and they're just so beautiful and the best way to make yourself look pretty in real life. So I hate it when they give us ugly bangs like Bloom's, or they get rid of Flora's to go for a bangless look. I hate bangless pulled back hair looks, and I know this is a very personal, subjective opinion, but like Bloom looks like a light bulb here with how puffy her head hair is. And I also have other problems with the hair. For example, I like Musa's outfit and I actually really like her bangs, but I have a problem with her hair again. That man, I'm sorry guys, because I know people love it, but it's just kinda goofy to me. I'm sorry. I know it's inspired by East Asian warrior style bands, but it just makes her look kinda silly. Like, yeah, the inspiration and it being warrior related, like the theme of the transformation is cool, but it's just like the literal shape of it looks kinda goofy. So yeah. The same thing goes for Stella, and I don't even know how to describe her hairstyle. That side ponytail is so dumb. It completely ruins her design. Like, it's the only thing you can look at. So yeah, even if the bands and the pulled back hair are in line with the warrior theme of the transformation, I don't like this purely aesthetically speaking. Then I think Aisha and Tegna look good. I have no problem with her hair. I actually really like Aisha's hair. It looks so magical, girl. And about Tegna, she looks so good in blue. And I really like the jacket hairstyle. It looks really good on her, I think. Then I feel like I have to mention something about the way they gain this transformation, because everyone hates it, and with good reason. It's pathetic. The backflips truly are a low point for lazy writing in the Winx franchise. About the concept of the transformation itself, the concept of it coming from Bloom's Dragon Flame is really cool and nods back to the pre-established lore of no one being able to steal Bloom's power from her, but I mean, this takes place in season 6, so it's just not fleshed out enough and there are no stakes. So it just kinda gives to make an excuse for having a fierce warrior themed transformation and nothing more. Also, the name is so dumb. Like, Bloomix? It should have been related to the power of the Dragon Flame. It seems so obvious and it would have made for really cool names, not Bloomix, which sounds really dumb. Next, Crystal Sirenix takes the 8th spot because, well, I don't know, I just really love winter themed outfits and they just look really cute and silly here. The fact that they have fur and this is supposed to be an underwater transformation is so dumb and funny to me. Those outfits have to feel like hell as soon as they get out of the water and they're like having to deal with this really heavy, filled with water, cold as ice, smelly fur. It's so triggering just thinking about how it must feel. Also, lore-wise, I don't really remember the reason for this transformation existing, but there was literally no need for it. Like, I'm sure they have other ways to heat themselves up while they're in cold waters. Design-wise, with this one, I actually think the Season 8 cuter art style kinda suits it better than if it was in the original one. Although, I don't know, maybe with the original art style, these designs could have looked kinda regal. Whatever, the thing is that what I like the most about these are the silhouettes and the colors. I think they're really nice, and I love how they all have a common bluish, purplish, greenish thing going on. When you see them together, it makes them look like an aurora. Then, the caves that they have behind their backs, which create a similar silhouette silhouette to the Harmonix dresses actually look like a tail, so I feel like the mermaid thing is more emphasized here than with regular Sirenix. I also love how these outfits have materials that feel real. I love how the leggings look, they feel so velvety. Like, I get the feeling that I know how the materials of these feel, which is not something that usually happens with Winx transformations. I like how there's a lot of little details in this, but they don't feel too crowded like the other transformations do. And I especially love the Crystal Sparks crown thing that they have. About each of the girls, I think the ones who look the best are Flora, Bloom, and surprisingly Stella. I just love that they brought back her season 1 asymmetric top with the fur on top. Also, the name is really pretty. I will always take adding crystal before something. It sounds really cool and mysterious, and in this situation, it's a really pretty way to refer to ice. Like, it makes you think of beautiful ice snowflakes instead of just cold, you know? So next, the 7th spot is for Butterflix, and okay, I know what you might be thinking. Why is one of the most hated Winx transformations so high on this list? Most people hate it because of the girls having the exact same outfit and the fact that it looks like they're all cupcakes, but I have to admit that I'm kinda into that. What can I say? I just like cute concepts. And yeah, they have the exact same silhouette, but at least it's an interesting silhouette, and it really stands out amongst all of the other transformations, which, as we've seen in the later seasons, are just a lot of skin-tight dresses and some kind of thighs. I have to say though, and saying this feels weird, but I think the designs look better in the Season 8 art style. Like in the original, they kinda look like clowns, like not to be ageist or anything, cause I believe everyone should just wear what they want and not give a fuck, but when I look at them in the original art style, I can't help but think that they look way too old to be dressing like that. So because the Season 8 art style make them look younger and like rounder, less angular, it just works better with this cute concept. As for the designs themselves, one thing I really like about Butterflix is the blue mascara thing. I think that looks so cute. I also really love the heels that they have. They look so delicate and pretty. And also, as I've said, I really like the dresses and the fact that they're supposed to be butterfly wings wrapped around like a skirt. I think that's really pretty and creative. I also think it's funny because it's really the same thing that they did for the Harmonix transformations, and I always wonder why they didn't just go through with it all the way in Harmonix. So yeah, I think the dresses are really pretty and creative, though I think maybe they're a bit too cluttered. The only thing I don't really like about Butterflix is the wings. They're very weird looking, and I don't like the compositing effects they did on them. I think it would look better if they had done something more akin to real fairy insect-like wings, as it would have tied them better with the nature concept. Like, if the concept for this was to be nature fairies, why wouldn't they do a more traditional fairy look? Like, the whole thing about fairies outside of the Winx universe in the first place is that they're forest creatures and they interact with animals. That's their whole thing. So why wouldn't you use their aesthetic? Also, now that I'm talking about the concept, I just want to mention how dumb it is that Roxy didn't get this transformation. And hear me out, I don't really care about Roxy and I'm not a Roxy defender, but like, it was right there, like the girl is the fairy of animals. So yeah, whatever. Those were my thoughts on Butterflix. And yeah, even if I defended it, the dance is completely ridiculous. Next, I put Cosmix at number 6, and what can I say, I kinda like it. I feel like the other fans hate it much more than I do. But I don't know, I think there's something so fun about these designs. They actually kinda remind me of Believix. Like, I love that there's a theme and that the transformation sticks to it. My favorite parts about it are the little stars and glitter all over the girls' outfits and hair, and especially the space-time mesh fabric that they all have, which I think is such a smart way to materialize a theme as abstract as this, and it gives the transformation a strong visual identity. I also love that there's a lot of Sailor Moon references in this transformation, like Stella's shoulder pads or some parts of the sequences. I'm not really able to pinpoint the exact style they were trying to go for with this transformation, but I think it's some kind of mid-20th century sci-fi look. I just get a strong sense of that from the colors and the skirts, like maybe they're in reference to something the designers watched as children, but I don't really know what it may be. So if you know the name of this aesthetic or any specific movie from which these outfits may be based off, please tell me in the comments. That being said, there's also some really bad downsides to this transformation, and I think the main one is that they all look the same. And it shouldn't even be this way, because if you really look at them, their outfits are really different from one another. But the issue is that they all have almost the same silhouette. All of them wearing those layered skirts makes it look like their outfits are much more similar than they really are. And honestly, I don't really get why they did this. The transformation already has a lot of personality thanks to the details I mentioned earlier, so I don't think it was really necessary to make them look cohesive in this way. My favorite designs here are definitely Flora's, Tecna's, and Aisha's. They just look so cute, and I love their necklines. I love how Flora's hair falls here, and just look at Tecna. It feels like the transformation was literally made for her. I also like the other girls, but I don't really like the colors they gave Musa and Bloom. They're a bit too much, I think. I do like the shoulder pads though, and I think they help the transformation have a distinctive look. As for the space lore, I think it's really cool, but though I don't remember much of Season 8, I think it doesn't really reach the stakes of where a space-themed season could be. Being space-themed is one of the coolest things you can think of, a natural progression for expanding the story and making the world feel bigger. These girls have been traveling through space throughout all of the seasons, so making them have to do it themselves instead of in a ship could be so cool, and just making interplanetary flying traveling a thing, and having in space scenes and fights. I'm thinking like a Super Mario Galaxy type of thing, that would be so cool. But from what I remember, that's not really a thing. It's more like they just go to planets. So yeah, with Cosmix, there's some things that I like about it, but there's also a lot of wasted potential. The transformation at number 5 is Winx, and being honest, this transformation was so hard to rank because it feels so different from the others, and also like with Enchantix and Believix, I've known it since I was a child, so I'm not really sure if I'm able to have an opinion about it. To me, it just kind of is good without question because I grew up with it. But still, looking at it and trying to separate myself from it, I still feel like it's so genius. It's so simple, but it really gets the job done, and retroactively looking at it as a base form, it makes a lot of sense why they're so simple. It's also really cunty, and I think it's the form that a lot of people think about when they think about Winx, even if Enchantix or Believix would have been more popular when the franchise was at its peak. I love how the designs are so simple, but each of them still has tiny details that makes the form personalized to each girl, especially in the ones of them that look the most similar, which are Stella's, Bloom's, Musa's, and Aisha's. Each girl here has their own accessory thing going on, like Musa with the purple armband or Stella with the bracelets, and I think that's really cool. Then Flora and especially Tecna's are more different, but the shared fabric between all of them still makes the look cohesive. It's so cool that every silhouette is really different, which is something that the later seasons transformations should learn from. Flora's outfit is just peak design and my favorite out of the bunch. Like, her silhouette is so good, and I think it's the best rendition of a flower-shaped dress I've ever seen. It's so seamless, and the witchy gloves just completely elevate the look. I've always loved how the ends of her gloves are loose and pointy. It's so pretty and whimsical. Then about Tecna, I'm never sure how I feel about her outfit. I think it's really cool, but I don't know if maybe I just like it because I'm accustomed to it. But one thing I for sure love is her wings. They're so original. I think what's cool about her Winx outfit is that it's the best exponent and makes it clear for anyone watching Winx that this is not your ordinary medieval fairy aesthetic show. It has a heavy futuristic aesthetic and a lot more cool stuff going on. Then in general, I also really like the wings. They're the first version of Winx wings, and you can tell in that they don't really stray away that much from the traditional fairy wings image, apart from Tecna, of course. But they still manage to each have a lot of personality and represent the girls quite well. Bloom has the most basic wings because she's the main character and new to the fairy world. Stella and Musa have sharper, pointy wings like their personality, and the same thing happens with Flora and her bubbly leaf-like wings. Nothing is really explained on the show about the lore of this transformation. It's just established as the basic fairy form, and it isn't even given a name. We've only seen Bloom earn it, I believe, so I think the only requirement it has is that the fairy is powerful enough, or maybe learning to control the magic enough to be able to concentrate it to transform. The other cool thing about this transformation is that we've seen more fairies with it, whereas the other transformations, we usually only see the wings having them. Then we get the Charmix, which is a nice addition and has great lore behind it. It introduces the concept of having to earn a transformation and makes for a smooth transition between Winx and Enchantix. I really like how well integrated the mechanic of having the girls have to get over a personal flaw relates to the plot and the character development, which I think is the main strength of Season 2. About the Charmix pack designs, I really like how they're all really different. The only two ones that I don't really like are Aisha's and Bloom's. Bloom's is kinda boring and the material feels out of character maybe, and about Aisha's, one, it feels like they ran out of ideas and just doodled something really quick. Like, it's so ugly. It doesn't make sense. And then about my favorite ones, Musa is definitely my favorite one. Both her pieces are so cool. I love the Discman, it's so fun, and apart from being related to music, of course, the vibe it gives off really matches Musa's personality and style. Then I like the concept of Tegnas as well because it's similar, and I like that Stella's one gives her more of the moonlight blue in her outfit, and I love the fact that Flora's one is a purse. It looks so girly in combination with her dress. I love it. So yeah, apart from the nostalgia factor, I think this is such a good design because it's really simple, but at the same time it's really detailed. So everything about this transformation seems so thought out, like so clever, truly. You might be wondering about why Magic Winx is not higher on my list after talking about how much I love it and how genius I think it is, but the only thing that prevents me from ranking it higher is that it's not as gorgeous, pretty, and beautiful of a transformation, you know? Which is something that I'm really obsessed with. So, design-wise, I like the next transformations more. Place number 4 on my list belongs to Believix, and okay, I know I literally just said I like beautiful transformations, and Believix isn't exactly what you would call a beautiful ethereal design. But hey, hear me out. The thing with Believix is that I think this transformation is so fun. So fun and flashy and cute and non-serious. Like, if Believix was a person, it would be the friend with whom you have an outburst of laugh that you can help in the last row of the classroom in high school, and then the teacher tells you to shut up, but you can stop laughing. Really specific, but that's how Believix feels. It's just so unapologetically itself. I love the layering of the textures going on. I love how it's so late 2000 and so goofy. Like, Musa wearing panties over leggings is still so silly. I love it, and I love that the designs are closer to regular clothing that was popular in the era. It makes Believix really stand out in terms of design from the other transformations. And also there's actually a good reason for them to be in these types of clothes, as the transformation power comes from the faith of Earth people in fairies, right? So they just wear clothes similar to the ones people wear on Earth. Still, lore-wise, I feel like there's a lot of wasted potential regarding Believix. I like the concept and it makes sense for them to get the transformation all at once, but there's some serious plot holes. I do think it makes sense for them to run it after convincing one human of believing in fairies, but like, Roxy is not a human. She's literally a fairy, a magical being. So I don't really understand how this makes sense. Also, I think it would have been really cool if the transformation gained strength with the number of people that the Winx got to believe in fairies. It would make for a cool and natural power scaling. If they can't use Enchantix because its powers are not effective against the Wizards of the Black Circle, it would be cool for them to make Believix effective, but not that strong in the beginning to sort of make a real challenge for the girls in this new adventure on Earth. As it happens on the show, they're just completely useless until they get this transformation, and then all of a sudden, it's mostly fine from what I recall. But yeah, now about the designs, first I want to say that I love the wings. They're truly eye candy, like, they look so not functional with those translucent holes in them, but I don't care because I love those details. These wings have so much stuff going on, and they always caught my eye as a child. I never really understood what was going on with them, but I thought they looked so pretty. I love how each girl has their own symbols being used in them, but as I said in the beginning of the video, I don't really care about the special wings or their designs. Like, okay, whatever, sell those toys, but it's so dumb. Especially when we already have Lovix and Sophix. Like, it's just too much. And before getting into each of the Winx girls, I want to briefly mention the Believix prototypes too, because I also find them very cute, and I think the concept of the outfits being like human clothes is clearing in this, but I still think I like the final version better. I love Stella's Believix. I think it's one of her best transformations and it fits her personality so much, so she really rocks it. I love how hers is the one that mostly resembles regular clothes, like she could be wearing this any day. It's so fun and cunty. I love the straps of her pink top showing. I also love her hairstyle here, even if it's the same as with Enchantix. It just works so well on her. I used to love Flora's design, but as time has gone on, I feel like it's kinda weird and it sticks out among the others because it's the less Believix-like because of the materials. Like, her top still looks so pretty to me, but there's just something about her skirt that I don't love. It kinda looks like lettuce, which kinda ruins it for me. Still, I love her hair and her boots. I think they're so pretty. Tegna's Believix is fine, but I don't really love it, and then I just one I feel is really good. I really love the turquoise on her, even more than the green, if I may say so. I also really like her hairstyle here, and as I said, I love Musa's Believix. It's so fun. Comparing her side braid to Stella's Bloomix side ponytail, Musa's works here because the transformation is silly and because it's just an added thing. Like, it's not the whole head of hair being tucked into a side ponytail. I also love the outfit. She might be my favorite Believix design with Stella, maybe, I think. There's some expert layering going on. As for Bloom's Believix, I'm never really sure what I think about it. I really like her hair, but then with her top, I think the princessy poofy sleeves are fun, but at the same time, I don't know. There's something about Bloom's look here that doesn't work for me, and I think it's the baby pink and the puffy princessy shoulder fabric. I like it in concept because it's really silly, but looks-wise, I'm not sure if I do. Lastly, about the name, I think it's kinda lazy because it's the most obvious word they could have chosen, but at the same time I think it works because it being obvious, it's really aligned with Believix design, and the fact that the letter B looks and sounds so bubbly, which makes it really work as an initial for this transformation. Next, we have Lovix at number 3, and yes, I'm ranking this above Believix because it's so cute. As I said, I love winter-themed outfits, and this one's definitely delivered. Also, I think it's so cunty and funny how these are outfits supposed to protect the girls from the cold, and yet they're as skimpy as ever. Truly iconic. Though maybe some velvet leggings would have also looked cute. In general, my favorite thing about Lovix is some of the slight hue changes made towards blue. I especially love Aisha's and Musa's colors. They look so icy and pretty. Like this type of turquoise and indigo blue are some of my favorite colors. Like my Winx OC Maya, the Fairy of Reflections, has these tones. The wings are also so cool here, I think. They're not as detailed as the Believix wings, but their colors are softer and they just look like beautiful, thin layers of ice. My two favorite Lovix forms are Blooms and Floras. They look so cozy and I love the changes made to their silhouettes. For Flora, I love the fur things that are hanging from her dress. It's kinda reminiscent of her Magic Wings dress shape. For Bloom, I think it's so silly how she has cutouts in her top in one of the most cold, sensitive parts of the body. It's so funny, like she's gonna freeze. But I think it's worth it because I love the shape it makes. It's so pretty. And as I said, with Musa and Aisha, I love the slight color adjustment they did to their designs. They moved their purple and turquoise designs towards an icy blue and it makes their hues so pretty. The only thing I don't really like that much about them is that they're too similar to their Believix designs and that Musa's especially doesn't feel that wintry. The only one that I don't like that much is Stella's, and I think this is mainly because of the colors. She stands out too much with that warm orange. I wish they would have changed the colors for her. They could have used purple or blue, which are colors she sometimes wears, but no, they just decided to stay with the exact same shade of orange her Believix has, and this makes her stick out like a sore thumb. And I mean, this could also be said about Flora, but pink is closer to blue in the color wheel, so I think her colors sit on the limit of being too different, while orange is literally the complementary color of blue, so it's not really the same situation at all. As for Tegna, I actually like her outfit, but I don't really like how strong of a purple they gave her. I think this design would have worked much better if the main color was lavender. Then I think her fur vest looks really cute, but I'm kinda confused about the rest of her outfit. The fabric feels too light and yeah, I don't know, there's just something unbalanced about it. She should have more stuff going on in the hip area, I think. As for the lore of this transformation, it's the gift of heart meant to give the wings the power of courage, and it's a winter transformation, so the connection is less straightforward than with Sophix, but I actually think that thematically this is a good idea because the concept translates to the sign in the other sense of the heart, the heat, the love that warms you. So this transformation feels very Bloom core, and it actually gave us Bloom's battle with Nebula, which I think is one of the most iconic fights on the show actually. Like, it was crazy, and I love seeing Bloom being so fierce and brave. It was the only moment in season 4 where Bloom's character felt developed and her leadership and character growth actually felt believable. Also, I love the name. Lovix sounds so pretty. Okay, so for the second spot, I actually put Harmonix here, and it's that I love this transformation's design so much. Like, I almost rank it first. I'm serious. So lore-wise, as I said before, I honestly don't know why this wasn't the Sirenix form, because this actually look Asian. And Sirenix also fits Harmonix's description of being used to be able to move underwater better. Like, these dresses seem so uncomfortable to swim around in. So it's a shame that such a gorgeous transformation has such an uninteresting and stupid lore. The same thing happens with the name. Like, the power of harmony is too big of a deal, just be relegated to a transition transformation. So, as I said, even though the lore is so bad, the thing that I love about Harmonix is that the designs are so good, so beautiful and ethereal, even if they're all really samey. I like how the skirts kinda change in silhouette, and also the hairstyles do a lot of the job here. So the design that really takes the cake here is Musa's. She looks so beautiful. Like, I think this may be the most beautiful design that the Winx Club has ever produced. Her straight hair looks so ethereal. There's something about the shape, the fact that it's so straight, the two strands that she has falling on her chest, the harsh cut mermaid tail, tight hair, the crown with the flower, her side bang, I don't know, it's just so gorgeous and delicate. I also love the specific layering of her skirt. It's so textured, and I love that the silhouette points upwards. Flora also looks incredibly beautiful, but I keep going over if I like the shade of green of her top or not. Sometimes I feel like it's too bright, but I still love her design. The skirt is really pretty and the hair though is so beautiful. This type of really delicate, ethereal transformation really suits her. Then about Bloom, I wouldn't say she looks bad, but I don't really like her here. I kinda hate her bangs, and I don't really like how the really light blue contrasts with the other colors of her outfit and the color of her hair. Then Stella actually looks really good here. I for once like her colors, and I like her ponytail as well. She looks like a Greek goddess. About Tegna, I like her colors and her wings, which are a bit different from the other girls, but I don't really like her hairstyle. I think it kinda makes her look like a suburban mom or a Karen, honestly. After Musa, I would say Aisha is the second best design. I love her hair and her dress here. This light shade of green works so great on her. It looks like she's being engulfed by foam, like she's a mermaid princess. So untouchable and mysterious, like literally straight out of a storybook. Then about the wings, I like them, but they're not that great either, and I don't really like how the symbols move inside them. It's kinda distracting. Like, I think they wanted to do something similar to the Believix wings, but I don't think it really works with this one. So yeah, that's my opinion on Harmonix. Okay, and next we have Enchantix at number 1. When thinking about the ranking, something in me really wanted not to give Enchantix the first spot to shake things up a little bit, because when I watch this type of ranking videos, sometimes it feels a little boring that it's always number 1. So I was gonna put Harmonix here because, just as I told you, I love that form, but I just couldn't. Enchantix still reigns supreme, like she's that girl. Each and every one of the girls looks stunning here, and it just has a stake that no other transformation does, lore and design wise. Like, these looks are honestly so good. I don't think I've ever seen any other cartoon designs that look like this. It's a combination of so many different elements that just give it such a distinctive Enchantix look and make the transformation so cohesive, while every girl looks so different at the same time. Like the petals, the gloves, the insect-like giant wings, the elaborate hairstyles, the sandals, the walking barefoot on their toes and their wings. It's all so Enchantix. And my absolute favorite design here has to be Flora's. I've always loved it since I was a kid. Like, I was obsessed with it. I have so many drawings of Enchantix, and especially of Enchantix Flora. Her hair is so beautiful here. I love all the detail it has, like how the bleached part of her bangs can only be seen in her head because it's just her usual bangs which are being pulled back. And because some of the bang hair is there, her bangs are actually thinner in this transformation. I've always been obsessed with her hair here. It's so beautiful, and I love that it's so long that it goes down to her feet, like so gorgeous. I also love the rainbow look that her colors have. It makes it feel as if she's truly radiating light. I feel like these are really non-obvious, non-intuitive design decisions, but they work so well. They continue the concept of her petal dress from her magic wings, but this time it's this beautiful pale rose petal. I also love the darker petal she has hanging from her fairy dust. It's kinda weird because of how big it is, but the thing is, it works so well. Then about Bloom, I love Bloom's dress. I love how her shape is kind of pestle, like really high-waisted. I don't really know how to describe it. It reminds me of Princess Zelda's dress from Breath of the Wild. Like, it's a dress that doesn't hug the body at all. And this combined with the hairdo, which is so 2017.
Sorry, it's editing me again. I don't know what's wrong with me in this video because I'm mispronouncing so many things. Here I wanted to say 2007, not 2017, which it obviously doesn't look like that. But yeah, I think this is just because I was recording this at like 4 a.m. in the night, but I'm getting so frustrated while editing this. So yeah, that's it. Sorry.
really signals a first coming of maturity, like being a teen that's about to begin their adult life. It looks so ceremonial. And the thing is, I especially love Bloom's Enchantix in the Secret of the Lost Kingdom movie. It looks so beautiful. They kinda changed the colors, which now look so pretty. It goes into that Enchantix rainbow aesthetic that I was talking about, and it kinda makes the dress look like it does in the comics. The silhouette is also kinda different, closer to the body and now showing the curves, but I still love it, and I like the fact that we have two really different renditions of this design. Another thing I especially love about it is the hair. The orange highlights are just so gorgeous, and it's so elaborate here. Stella looks amazing in Enchantix. My favorite part about her design is the fact that the transformation bleaches her hair. It looks so beautiful on her, especially when she's drawn with a really tan skin. That's when this design looks the best, and that's the reason why Stella Season 8 Enchantix redesign looks so pasty. Another detail I love is the blue string that goes around her torso. I don't know what the material is supposed to be, but I think it looks like shiny metal wire to me, and I love that. This thing happens a lot with Enchantix, I noticed, like you can tell what the materials are, but I think that makes it look so magical. About Aisha, her hairdo is gorgeous. Like, it's so intricate and it makes her look so regal. That combined with the makeup and the tear jewels, which I don't know why they only show it in her, but whatever. The thing is that it's just all so gorgeous. About her outfit though, I like it, but it's just not one of my favorites. I definitely like her blue version much more. It looks so beautiful and vibrant and really continues the rainbow theme across the transformations. On the other hand, the green and pink version looks way too plain. I don't like it. Honestly, Musa's Enchantix is too beautiful, and I'm kinda conflicted about Musa's switch to long hair that happened because of Enchantix, because on the one hand, it doesn't really suit her personality because they don't explain this change to femininity, and it kinda reads as them correcting her tomboyishness for marketability, but at the same time, she looks so gorgeous, like so incredibly gorgeous with the long pigtails. I actually never really liked the short ones, if I'm being honest. I think it just looked too goofy. Like, it's iconic and it's her look, but I don't know, not really for me. I love the gold accents she has here, her wings and the shape of her skirt. I don't know whatever the hell is going on with those puffy fabrics, but it really works. Also, I want to say that she has the prettiest Fairytas paddle out of them all. Like, come on, it looks so delicate and detailed. And like with Bloom, I also think she looks great in the Secret of the Lost Kingdom 3D models. There she has deeper shades in her palette and it feels so elegant. Tecna looks so cunty in her Enchantix. Her outfit is so weird, but it works really well, and I love her lavender color here and the blue in her gloves. Her sharp blade things are really strange, like I don't know what that is, but it makes for such an interesting outfit. I also really like her hair here, it's so cool. And about the wings, the prototype version is very pretty, but I actually like that they cut the lower part because it makes them feel more agile and more Tecna. Like having different wings is sort of her trademark, I noticed. Then about the wings, I think they're iconic and they're the first time that the show introduced the idea of these giant wings. I love how each of them is based on different animals, and I think my favorites are probably Musa's and Flora's. Flora's are just so pretty. And now, getting into the lore of Enchantix, what can I say? It's just perfect. It being the final fairy form, or at least that's what it was introduced as. The stakes of the sacrifice, like literally having to die for a fairy to get this transformation, it's so meaningful, and it makes for some of the most impacting moments of the show. Like Tecna's sacrifice, Flora drowning saving her sister, Stella saving her father, or Bloom gaining her incomplete Enchantix by pure force of will and her stubbornness. Though I would say Charmix actually is a bit better integrated with each of the characters' storylines throughout the season. With Enchantix, it's more like isolated moments. But anyways, what I also love about Enchantix is that the girls get the title of Guardian Fairies after graduating. That sounds incredibly cool and powerful. These planets being protected by these teenage girls that achieved incredible power, but the show doesn't really do anything with it. It's still seeking concept though. Also, the name is just great. It's simple and doesn't hold much meaning, but it just sounds beautiful. It's related to magic, but not anything specific, as this is a non-specific form. It just is, and that's why it's so special. Enchantix is definitely the best transformation of the show, and such a clever way to make the traditional image of a fairy look Winx. So yeah, that was everything for today. This was a long one, and I know it's gonna be hell to edit this, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is so tired and sore right now because I've been talking for like 4 hours straight. Please tell me your opinion, your own ranking, or really whatever you want to say down in the comments. And also, if you've stuck around to this point, I would like to ask you to please like and subscribe, as it really helps me out. I plan on, or at least wish, to start making videos more consistently from now on, now that I have a little bit more time. So please stick around for more videos like this one. I think the next one that I want to do is a review or ranking of the Winx in Concert album, because I love it so much and I've been thinking a lot about it lately. So yeah, bye and thanks for watching.